My name is Alara Nightbane. My cousin Lara Shadowmanet pretended to have a bloodline frenzy at the Moon Goddess Festival, secretly took aphrodisiac wolfsbane, and tearfully begged me to lend her my alpha fiancé Chandler Lakin for one night to calm her mixed bloodline outburst. I found Corbin Ironhowl, who had always been devoted to her. For her, Lara woke up to find that the one who marked her was not Kale and took her own life in shame and anger. Kale did not blame me for this and still treated me as before. I always felt guilty toward Lara and took care of her family attentively after her death. However, on the day of the bonding ceremony, Kale ordered someone to poison me with wolfsbane and threw me to rogue werewolves to be violated. Lara endured such pain back then, so use your wretched body to atone for her. I was violated to death under the brightest moonlight, losing both my life and my unborn child. When I opened my eyes again, I returned to the night Lara cried and begged me to give Kale to her. At the Moon God Festival, Liliana pretended to lose control of her bloodline, took wolfsbane, and tearfully begged me, Alara, please let Kale save me, okay? She cried while clutching the hem of my ceremonial dress. Alara, just lend me Kale for one night, please. I looked at Lyra, sobbing at my feet, and sighed softly. Lyra, Kale, and I are bound by a pact. If you act like this, how will you find a partner in the future? Kale frowned and reprimanded from the side. I am your sister's destined partner. Your behavior is truly disgusting. With that, he kicked Lyra aside and pulled me away. I looked at Lyra writhing in pain on the ground from the bloodline turmoil and eventually softened. I called Corbin, who had always admired her. For her, Lyra and Corbin already had an engagement, and Corbin, being upright, would never spread this matter. Having him perform a temporary marking was the best choice at the moment. However, when she woke up and found that it was Corbin who marked her, she broke down and cried on the spot. She pointed at me, angrily accusing me of ruining her, and then resolutely took her own life. This incident became an indelible shadow in my heart. I always believed it was my fault that she died. After her death, I took care of her family wholeheartedly. Kale understood my hard work and often accompanied me in taking care of them. But on the night of our bonding ceremony, he brought several rogue werewolves to violate me to death. I begged him desperately to spare me, but he looked at me with disgust. If it weren't for you, I would have already bonded with Lyra's bloodline. This is all your fault. Lyra endured such pain back then too. She died, so use your life to atone for her. It turns out that before forming a pact with me, he already had an affair with Lyra. I learned from the wolf pattern scroll Lyra gave him that she was his first love, but he didn't know that the scroll recorded everything about me. Lyra had been jealous of my pure bloodline since childhood and obsessively imitated me. From festival attire to hunting war cry, she even imitated my wolf pattern scroll. She thought that by imitating everything about me, she could replace my position in the tribe. In my past life, I kept tolerating her because she was my cousin, but it ultimately cost me my life. In this life, I decided to let them have their way because I had more important things to do. When the familiar plot unfolded again, I left early under the pretext of changing the festival dress, leaving the stage entirely to Lyra. Sure enough, just like in the past life, she feigned a bloodline frenzy and pretended to accidentally consume wolfsbane. Afterward, she shook off Corbin and started searching everywhere for me and Kale. When she couldn't find me, she could only kneel on the ground and beg Kale, please mark me, will you? If you don't save me, my hybrid bloodline will collapse. She used life and death to force Kale. A trace of disgust flashed across Kale's face. However, the clan servant who came to inform me reported in a low voice, young Master Bloodmore said there was an urgent matter and has already left the ritual altar. I looked at my reflection in the mirror, and the image of my tragic death in my past life surfaced in my mind, making me shudder. Fortunately, I was reborn. In this life, I will personally send them to hell. I instructed, go and invite young Master Ironhowl. Tell him I'm very worried about Lyra and would like him to join me in the search. After the clan servant left, I began openly searching for Kale. Everywhere I went, I anxiously asked, have you seen my fiancé and cousin? Soon, the guests at the festival ceremony all knew that Kale and Lyra had disappeared at the same time. Corbin, upon hearing this, was also extremely anxious. Lyra is already a half-blood she-wolf. If this spread, it will greatly affect her reputation and the tribe's honor. He immediately ordered his men, make sure to find Lyra as soon as possible. Everyone scattered to search, almost turning the entire altar upside down. Finally, only the chamber prepared for blessings remained unchecked. Everyone stood hesitating in front of the chamber, caught in a dilemma. At that moment, I ran over anxiously. Have you found Lyra and Kale? Everyone remained silent. The servant said, we've searched the altar and the hall only. Before he finished speaking, I forcefully pushed open the stone door of the chamber. Kale, Lyra, are you there? The next second, a woman's scream and a man's roar came from inside the chamber. I stood at the doorway, stunned, as everyone behind me witnessed the scene. Kale was actually sleeping with my cousin Lyra during the Moon Goddess Festival. I looked at Kale with a pale face. Before I could finish speaking, everything went black and I fainted. Corbin quickly caught me and glared at Kale. Your tribe must give us an explanation for this, or else. He didn't finish, but everyone understood what he meant. The Ironhowl tribe is now at peak, and even though Corbin is just the second son, is not someone anyone can easily bully. Corbin supported me as we led a scene.